research on this around the world, a lot in the United States, who are very similar to us, even though we're better. No, I'm joking. I love Canada, right? But we're so similar to our neighbors. And they've done a lot of research there. And what they found is that even with men who are perfectly fine, nice guys, the access to pornography now is so different than it was, when we were younger, where you had to actually go into a store, buy a magazine, or walk past all the family videos and go into the little dark room at the back, and so everybody was really clear what you were doing. And there was a little bit more of a, I better think about this. Now it's easily accessible by anybody who can, click a mouse sort of thing and knows how to go on the internet. And the stuff that's available on the internet is by far, crazier stuff than we've ever seen, ever, and a lot of it really violent and harmful and displaying extremely disturbing sort of scenes that aren't even sex, involving women and children and just stuff that as a society we would never be okay with, but yet there it is on our internet and people access it. And some of the studies have shown that the more and more that men in particular are looking at pornography online, the more they're starting to seek out more sort of violent and sort of out of the scope of what would be more of a realistic context. They're starting to look at more of this crazier stuff. They go sort of further and further. It's almost innocent because it's just like going down the rabbit hole. But then the correlation to violence against women is that then what they're finding is that it sort of decreases the what's it called? It's sort of like takes away the filter where we can make good judgments about our actions. And the next thing you know, that guy's out looking for a prostitute on the street, and it might be sort of an innocent date in the beginning, but after a while the ante gets upped because his barriers in his brain to what's possible are so broken down that it's nothing to go out and pick up a woman and beat the snot out of her, rob her, do any of those things. And there's research evidence that shows that there's actually escalating crime and violence among sex purchasers who watch pornography, not among sex purchasers, but between sex purchasers and prostitutes. If the sex purchasers are watching a lot of pornography, it just makes it easier and easier to go and do those things in real life. So it's super disturbing, but we don't even think about stuff like that. We just had a politician, Alberta government politician, and he's apologized, good for him, who very recently, within the last 2 weeks, made a comment about child pornography essentially being okay. Well, watching it or looking at it is essentially okay. He's been raked over the coals in the legislature. His party right now, I don't think they quite know what to do with him. He's apologized and stuff, but that he even said it. And he's not just one guy. He represents a lot of people who, not even because he's a politician, but just because he's a human being. If one person thinks it, there's probably a whole bunch more that think it. So, I don't know. I don't think that we've done a good enough job at this point yet to let the public know what the truth is about this issue. And I think the opportunities are now. Because I think if people really knew, I think if they really knew, I don't think the women would be invisible. They wouldn't be. Part of the reason they're invisible now, though, too, is because the rest of us who might not be engaged in all of that sort of crime-related activity can't bear to see it. We can't even bear to go there because it's like this vicarious traumatization where we're traumatized even by thinking about it. But we have to help people be brave and courageous, and we have to say, I can't pretend anymore it doesn't exist.